Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with the kill count. Today's kill count is on Frankenstein from 2025. This one actually falls more in the book storyline, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Well, I won't spoil too much in case anyone hasn't read it yet, but, well, this one's from Guillermo Toro, so let's go. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Don't know why I went Italian. Let's go.
Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally
James,
up the victims and all our favorite horror movies and show you how they were made. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Frankenstein, the Guillermo del Toro version, released in 2025. Frankenstein has been a long-time dream project for the Mexican writer-director. He's always said Mary Shelley's original novel changed his life.
This is the last of the Mohicans for me. I don't think there's gonna be another movie like this in my lifetime for me. So I went, as we say in Mexico, balls to the wall.
It pulls a lot from the book that rarely makes it to the screen, like the captain's log, the creature's book-accurate design, and his ability to speak in complete sentences. At the same time, it borrows plenty from the Universal movies, both the 1931 original and the 1935 sequel, Bride of Frankenstein, including the Tower Lab, the Lightning Bolt Resurrection, and Dr. Frankenstein being a mad scientist. At the center of the movie is the relationship between Victor Frankenstein, played by Oscar Isaac, and the creature, played by Jacob Elordi. At 6'5", Elordi's creature is huge, which really sells his power.
I'm favoring tall specimens, long limbs. Scale will make the work easier.
But he's also tortured and sympathetic. In fact, too much for my personal taste. I know a lot of people love this movie, including critics. It's nominated for 9 Oscars after all, including Best Picture. But despite my years of looking forward to this adaptation, and my love for Del Toro as a filmmaker and a human being, I found myself disappointed with what we got. This version of Frankenstein makes things too black and white for me. It might be because Del Toro's always felt a kinship with the monster.
Because I've been a misfit and a freak of a very large size all my life. And the moment I discovered the creature, I discovered in him a twin soul. And in his suffering and in his disfranchisement emotionally, I found a kindred spirit.
Instead of both characters being tragic and ultimately human in their flaws, the creature is completely baby girlified and made a wholly innocent figure, while Victor's turned into a mustache-twirling villain with no redeeming qualities. Worst of all is how the movie spells this all out with dialogue that is painfully on the nose.
You are the monster.
Yeesh. I understand it's doing something different than the novel. Instead of examining how mistreatment will make a monster out of anyone, even an innocent blank slate, this story is more concerned with the perpetuating cycle of being a shitty dad. It's also got some stuff about financing art that I don't think fits in well, but whatever. It's trying to do something, and if you're into what it's doing, that's great. I'm not. And while I always try to judge a movie by what it's trying to do, that doesn't mean I have to like it. I just think the path taken here makes the characters and story way less interesting. That being said, there is still plenty to enjoy. I love the production design and all the costumes and such. Jacob Elordi is amazing as the monster, and the movie is at its best when it focuses on him. The whole thing looks a little Netflixy and has some weird CG, but a lot of it is undeniably beautiful. I especially dig the tower. That place is dope. It's so freaking huge, it is awesome in the literal sense of the word. Del Toro's trademark love of visual arts and practical effects is on full display here.
I wanted the movie to test the capabilities of every single craft in movie making.
You can tell how excited he was to make this. He and his crew go all out in every department.
And I said, I want to do it the way we used to make movies, for humans, by humans, by hand.
But the technical achievements just aren't enough for me to get over the flattening of these characters and the rudimentary dialogue. Is Frankenstein the...
Hold up.
I know you're there, Puppet James. You don't need to hide behind the set like that.
Hello.
I've come with a request. I've traveled the world, Father, without meeting a single other of my kind. I desire...
a mate.
a companion.
No. No. I have found
Frankenstein, anyone?
And you are weirdness calling me back. I will not surrender myself to that era again.
But no, I wanted you to help me find a therapist.
Oh. Well, that
we know where that goes.
With the help of today's sponsor, ZocDoc. ZocDoc is a free app and website that helps you find and book high-quality in-network doctors, so you can find someone you love. You're able to filter from over 150,000 providers with 200-plus specialties across the entire country.
And no matter what plan you have, you'll find one that's in your budget.
Oh, well, great. And you can choose from in-person versus virtual visits, read reviews to figure out which doctor seems to fit your vibe, and once that's all decided, book instantly from real-time availability, with many appointments happening in just 24 to 72 hours. Does this satisfy you?
Yes, thank you, Creator. Woo!
There he
stop
goes.
putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/deadmeat to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's
ZocDoc.com/deadmeat.
This message is sponsored by ZocDoc. Is Frankenstein the monster, or the movie, or the novel, or the doctor? I don't know, but let's find out how many kills it has.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot. And like he said, it does pull a lot from the book. So what you'll see, well, some of it you'll see here, you'll actually read in the book, which a lot of times you see in movies doesn't. But here, definitely does. So that's actually kind of good on him. Anyway, off you go.
The movie begins with a prelude in 1857 at the edge of the world. Danish explorer Captain Andersen has gotten his ship stuck in the ice. His men want to free it and head back home to play with their Legos, but he says hell nah, they're gonna break through and keep pressing forward, even if he's looking blue in the face.
Vi skal nå frem til Nordpolen.
Dudes love reaching peaks and poles and shit. This nautical intro is straight out of the book, which is presented as a series of letters and journals. In the novel, it's an English captain named Walton, and his captain's log serves as the book's framing device. A distant explosion draws the crew 2 miles from the ship, where they find a couple of dogs, a lot of blood, and a stranger with a prosthetic leg. At first, they think he's been mauled by a polar bear, maybe after stealing its coke, but that thing in the distance ain't no bear. Ain't no man either, judging by the way he's tanking them bullets. It's the creature, of course, and he tears into the crew, chucking one dude into the hole, one-armed body slamming another, making a third one do his best impression of Reagan McNeil. Monster's tearing shit up. He makes his way on board and politely asks for the man they found.
Bring him to me!
When the crew fails to comply, he battles and bats his way through more of them.
I know, it's
some
not even
brutal
running away
injuries
from
here,
fire.
but I'll only add the 2 he tosses overboard. That'll match the body count the captain gives us later.
How many of your men did it kill? 6.
Thanks for the confirmation, dude. Anderson's
Thanks, boss.
first mate busts out a blunderbuss and blasts
that's
the
a
creature
big
overboard.
one.
Probably
Whoop.
feeling pretty sweet right now. The creature still won't sit down and stop rocking the boat. He's gonna break it
Literally.
free.
Oh.
The joke's on him. That's exactly what they were trying to do before he showed up. Now, normally I would try to wait a little bit before getting into production info, but with this movie, I've got to start right away because this ship was a massive practical set
that's an
that took
actual
4
set?
months for them to complete. Everything from the captain's quarters to the icy exterior was built in the parking lot of Netflix's studio in Toronto. The ship
Seriously?
stayed there for all of production, almost like a mighty masted symbol of their ambition. It was mounted on a huge gimbal that could rotate it 90 degrees in either direction, allowing a lordy to actually rock the ship back and forth. Oh man, it's so cool.
Fun.
Captain Anderson knows that to win a fight, you've got to use the environment, literally. So he shoots their last shot and sends their foe into the icy depths, where he sinks down like a reverse, less naked Nirvana baby. Anderson chats with the stranger, who reveals his name is Victor Frankenstein. He warns him the creature will come back for him again. He knows because he's kind of his papa.
I made him.
As they await the monster's inevitable return, Victor sits the captain down to tell him his part 1 tale. His story begins with a Richie Rich childhood. His father was a stern, withholding, and imposing figure, so of course he's played by Charles Dance, who perfected that kind of role in Game of Thrones. We've seen him on the kill count in Alien 3, and he previously played a father
Victor
Frankenstein in
2015.
2015's Victor Frankenstein.
Or
Victor's
15,
father
sorry.
was a prominent surgeon and determined to shape him into a medical mini-me. Incorrect answers during testing would be met with face flicks, because a Frankenstein always pays his debts.
You bear my name, Victor, and with it my reputation.
Yeah, no time to monkey around here. Victor enjoyed a much closer relationship with his mother, whom his father only married for money and to make heirs. That's why she's pregnant with Victor's younger brother, William. Unfortunately, the pregnancy is a complicated one, because when her water breaks, there's also blood. She's tended to by her husband, who just so happens to hate her, and oh no, look at that,
And
he
she's
couldn't
dead.
save her. Who could have guessed? At least he still buried her in the sick coffin. That's a pretty metal final resting place.
True.
Victor's dad was able to save baby William, who became the favored child. He had a bright and cheerful disposition, the bubblegum flip side to Victor's broodiness. Meanwhile, the death of his mother caused Victor to obsess over conquering death. In fact, he believed he was destined to succeed thanks to a visit from a raging red dream angel. Victor's father eventually died as
and
well,
bye-bye,
but
Victor.
by then the family had lost its fortune, leaving the Frankenbros with no inheritance. William was sent to live with relatives in Vienna, while Victor continued his medical studies in Edinburgh. That's where we catch up with him in 1855, giving a presentation to a board headed by Ralph Ineson, who we've seen on the channel through his
Oh,
work
the
with
Vitch.
Robert Eggers. Victor's on the verge of being expelled from med school due to unorthodox experiments like stitching dead people together to create, this thing. It looks kinda cool, even if it doesn't read actual human being to me. It looks more like an expensive Halloween decoration you'd hang on the wall and scare your little cousins with. It was achieved with a mix of puppetry and VFX. Puppeteers in blue screen suits controlled the cadaver's movements, with digital touch-ups done for the brain and contact points in the arm. Victor shows that with steampunk electrical tubes, he can make anyone a friend to play catch with. Pretty messed up that he's given life to a corpse, only to trot it around and treat it like a trained monkey. Even more messed up is when he unplugs it to make a point. Didn't even shut it down properly. Gonna have to defrag on his next boot. All the
Yeah, that is messed up. Even I would have been like, okay, someone get the cops or the capas, or you know what I mean. Get the police. Arrest this man. He's mental. Like, jeez, even no one would willingly let this guy stay. He'd be in jail for what he did there. Like, desecration of body, like, Jesus. Anyway.
The crowd treats Victor like a rock star. The board disapproves of his abomination and expels him. Watching all of this go down is a dandy named Henrik Harlander, who catches Victor
Harlander?
at his shoddy off-campus apartment. Harlander is an arms dealer whose niece Elizabeth is engaged to marry Victor's brother William. But Harlander's here for more than an RSVP. He's taken an interest in Victor's work. He tells Victor he holds the key to making his experiments work for real. See, right now, the reanimations only last as long as the battery they're plugged into. But Harlander has a solution that he illustrates with an Evelyn table. In real life, the Evelyn tables are 4 anatomical models that are the oldest in Europe, displaying the arteries, nerves, and veins of various cadavers. Interestingly, they're kept in London's Hunterian Museum, which is named after John Hunter, a Scottish surgeon who collected organs and skeletons, and who some have compared to Victor Frankenstein, though it's doubtful he was an actual inspiration for Mary Shelley. Harlander reveals he has a super secret 5th Evelyn table, which contains the lymphatic system and, for sci-fi reasons, the secret to eternal life.
It can distribute, but also store energy.
It gets Victor excited, but he can't afford to take advantage of it. Remember, he's no longer rich, he's Poe. Thankfully, Harlander offers to fund his research. No strings attached. Except like, I don't know, maybe a nebulous favor somewhere down the line, but don't worry, it's not big. Victor reunites with William, but the hugs and kisses don't last long. By Victor's 3rd glass of milk, their sibling rivalry has reemerged, Victor's ego clashing with William's timidity. In the book, Victor's brother is a 5-year-old and not really a character. This William seems more like a version of Henry Clerval, Victor's best friend in the novel, whose name was confusingly used for Dr. Frankenstein in the Universal movies. Victor meets his brother's fiancée, Elizabeth Harlander, and being the little slimeball he is, immediately falls in love with her. Dude must be Oedipal, since actress Mia Goth also played his mother with the help of some facial prosthetics and eyebrows. Really hard to recognize her with eyebrows. But hey, if you need someone to play dual roles in your horror movie, Goth's got the experience. Harlander gives Victor a base of operations to work from. While the 1931 movie had Castle Frankenstein, this mad science hub reminds me more of the Tower Lab from Bride. Nice interior design too. That's some sick Medusa art. Better fix that window though. About to be drafty as fuck in there. Oh, and that hole in the ground? That is activating something in my lizard brain. It's so clearly dangerous, they even needed safety cones around it on set. With Harlander's cash flow on tap, Victor begins his experiments. They start at the gallows for some corpse shopping, where we see 6 inmates get hanged. Their executioner is played by Bern Gorman, a frequent Del Toro collaborator who played Gottlieb in Pacific Rim. On his way out, Victor catches a glimpse of Elizabeth and stalks her to confession. Look at that hat and that pinstripe suit. He looks like Gomez Adams trying to join the Musketeers. He tries posing as a priest to get the afternoon tea, but winds up with egg on his face instead. It kicks off a dubious flirtationship. Victor puts William to work on the lab so he can play Elephant the Elephant with Elizabeth.
Should we trap her or let her go?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. His fixation on Elizabeth may be a bit distracting though. Victor still tinkers in his lab with a prototype corpse, but it ain't rising from the count anytime soon. All the lollygagging starts to irritate Harlander.
You said your funds were unlimited.
My patience is not.
He says an upcoming battle should give Victor plenty of body parts to work with, but if there's no progress this time around, he's franken finished. Get franken fucked, dude! To add to his list of L's, Victor tries making a move on Elizabeth, but gets put in the franken friend zone.
I truly believe it to be something else.
Believing something does not make it true.
Victor soaks away his feelings in a sad boy bath until he has a textbook eureka moment. A needle there, a pin here. Watch where you're sticking those, Nakey boy. And suddenly, he's brought this jawless son of a bitch back to life. It was something to do with battery placement? I don't know. Must have had the positive and negative sides mixed up. He embarks on a body farming montage that starts with, oh, fuck me, a frozen Crimean War battlefield? You're really gonna make us count this many Oscar-nominated background bodies? I mean, I don't know why I said us. I'm just gonna have Tim do it.
Oh, fuck.
Take it away. away, Tim.
Fuck me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Timmy Tim counted 39
Timmy Tim.
putrid popsicles littering this field of death. Just
What
a
the-
whole lot of barely countable bodies blending
barely
in with
tell
ice
what
and
happened.
snow. Good job,
Would've been
Tim.
cool to see the
Select
battle.
bodies are transported to the lab's freezer in the cellar, where Victor goes window shopping amongst 6 visible bodies. Were these already counted on the battlefield? I don't fucking
Yeah, you
know.
never know.
It's impossible to say. The creme de la corpses make their way to the lab's top floor, kicking off another montage as
Man,
Vic Man
14
cuts
now.
into the flesh and bone of 20 bodies. But we're only counting 14 here, since we're assuming 6 of them were just counted in the cellar. But really, who knows? Victor works around the clock until the body parts start to rot. Oh man, wouldn't want to do the laundry service for this tower. These sequences are exactly the kind of thing where Del Toro excels, depicting the grotesque with beauty, even whimsy with the way he shoots it and the score behind it. This cavalcade of incredible practical corpses were placed on real ice blocks that melted naturally over the course of this montage. Del Toro instructed Isaac to treat the task less like surgery and more like carpentry, referring to it as traumatology. Victor eventually finishes the construction, and it just so happens to be a dark and stormy night. That means it's resurrection o'clock, so time to crank that soldier boy into a Christ pose like this were Bride of Frankenstein. Damn, Victor, you really cranking it yourself? I keep telling you, man, you gotta get an Igor, or at least a riffraff. Instead, all he
surprised
has
we
is a
don't have an
Harlander,
Igor.
and that dude is looking pretty bad right now. Turns out he's dying from syphilis, and also all the mercury he's been drinking to treat his syphilis. It's time for him to cash in on that favor. He wants to be the recipient of this everlasting life.
As we give life to our new Adam, I want to be placed in this new perfect body.
Victor's like, nah, dude, your brain is gross and syphily. He don't want no tainted meat in his brand new boy. Besides, he can't waste time. He's got to free solo up the spire and install that lightning rod. Harlander keeps begging and even tries the magic word.
Please. Please, always helps.
But when Victor still says no, he does the scientific equivalent to a table flip. A periodic table flip? In the ensuing fight, Harlander slips into the tower's gaping OSHA violation. Victor tries to save him, but that is the biggest death trap of a roof hole I have ever seen. It is literally designed to make you slip and fall in there. Slip and fall in is what Harlander does,
See ya,
getting
Harlander.
gloriously splattered on the floor down below. Well, I don't know. That didn't look too bad. Maybe he...
No, it's curved. You're
This
done.
perilous plummet was done using a dummy they slammed into the ground, along with a stunt performer doing a controlled fall onto a crash pad. And of course, lots of blood.
A little more of the mushy brains.
Now that he's dead, I've got to say, I hate the inclusion of Harlander. I think you can trim a lot of runtime by getting rid of him. We don't need an explanation for how Victor funded his work. Just make him rich from daddy. Who cares? Del Toro has said the character is meant to represent money behind art, like a studio dictating what a movie should be since it's providing the funds. That theme is great and all, but for me it seems
It
out
seems
of
like
place
a
in a
little
Frankenstein
personal
movie.
there for
And also,
Del Toro.
Harlander's just kind of goofy. I don't know. He feels like a Fred Armisen character. Though Harlander's dead.
Yeah, definitely something you could cut it out and be like, I mean, heck, could have been a former property of Victor's dad. Easy. Oh, don't have to include Harlander. Alright, man. Just not that memorable. Womp womp. Anyway, next.
Victor's experiment is still alive and kicking. A bolt of lightning strikes and
here it
sends the
comes.
whole lab into a sparking frenzy. This place is such an incredible
Heads up.
set, thanks to production designer Tamara Devereaux. Massive props to her for these massive props. She's worked with Del Toro a bunch, including on his second feature, Mimic, nearly 30 years ago. Her team built all 4 of the 15-foot batteries, which changed from green to red as a practical effect. Sounds like she and Del Toro balanced each other well. She leans towards real and historical designs, while he injects a whole bunch of fantasy. The sky juice seems to get the blood pumping, and before you know it, neurons firing off. But after the electric mayhem concludes, it appears to have been a false hope, since Victor's creation is not alive. It's not alive. Defeated, he plops into bed and dreams once again of his red-hued harbinger. When he awakens from his slumber, he's alarmed to find his creature has woken up too, with vital signs of life like the enjoyment of bedpost peekaboo. It worked! Hail to the Victor Valiant! Wait a minute, are we sure we got the right universal monster here? Because he's looking pretty mummy to me. The creature shirks from the sun at first, but calm down, dude. I know you think fire bad, but not when it's that far away. Sunlight good! The creature quickly learns to identify his father/creator.
Victor.
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 Yes.
Victor gives his monster baby a nice new apartment in the tower sewers. Gives him a blanket too. How generous. He's thrilled at the fact that he's achieved his life's work until he realizes he's achieved his life's work.
The achievement felt unnatural.
See, that's why Band-Aid monster babies never work. They never heal the underlying existential dread. Victor soon grows tired of taking care of the creature. As usual, the fun part was making the baby, not raising it. Especially
Pretty
when
much.
he's kind of a dummy.
Yes, 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 yes. This much we have established. That is my name. My name is Victor. Is there anything else that you can say? Anything at all?
But how can he hate on a Frankenbaby who's got Wolverine's healing powers? It's a souped-up version of the creature's durability in the book, theorized earlier with that Evelyn table.
Scarring and regeneration beyond anyone's imagination.
Life eternal.
Sometime later, Victor gets a visit from William and Elizabeth. Uncle Harlander, never heard of him. I mean, he's gone. I mean, he's not home right now. While the men are distracted, Elizabeth wanders down to the lab's lower levels and finds the creature. She's immediately drawn to his innocence. Well, that or she's a muscle fan.
How many push-ups did you do before the scene?
I can only do 5.
The creature was originally going to be played by Andrew Garfield, but he was forced to drop out due to scheduling conflicts after the strikes of 2023. Jacob Elordi was cast with only 9 weeks to prepare for the role. For his physicality, Del Toro had him study the Japanese dance technique of Budo, which is also what Lily Rose Depp studied for her performance in Nosferatu. Victor is proud to show off his creation, but Elizabeth is concerned about his living conditions. She doesn't like that he's chained up, or that he's kept in rags, or that Victor keeps referring to him as an it. That night, she sneaks down for some secret bonding and talks to the creature like Chelsea talks to Lucy.
A leaf? For me? Thank you.
Oh, you know he likes her too, because he could have used that leaf to make another little boat. Down the chute it goes. Victor catches her on the way out and hits her with the movie's parental themes. Like his father did with him, he bemoans that his offspring isn't meeting his high expectations. But Elizabeth has a mother's touch and sees potential in his experiment.
In those eyes I saw pain, and what is pain if not evidence of intelligence?
When she leaves, Victor starts hitting the creature just like his daddy did. He hates how much affection Elizabeth has for him. To make the creature seem like a monster, Victor shows William Harlander's corpse. He says the monster murdered him, just really throwing his creation under the carriage. He sends his brother away with Elizabeth, promising to clean up his mess and destroy the creature. He takes a gas tank or 200 to the tower so he can burn it down and erase evidence of his perceived failure. Before setting his baby ablaze, he gives him one more chance to say something other than his name.
One word more. Anything. Make me save you.
What if it was all Beth? I mean, he almost says Beth because he says Elizabeth, but that is not the word Vic wants to hear. It's the straw that breaks the Mad Doc's back, so he sets the lab on fire like a one-man pitchfork mob. On his way out, he hears the creature screaming his name, and it gives him a sudden change of heart. Too bad he didn't watch that movie Backdraft, because an explosion blasts his ass backwards and leaves his leg dangling like a paddleball. Elizabeth and William get back just in time to see the lab collapse into the camera. In present day, Victor concludes his story right as they hear another commotion on deck. As promised, the creature has recovered just fine and is here to kill Victor. And Captain Anderson too, why not? That is, until he hears Victor's been talking shit. He won't let that stand.
My maker told his tale.
No, it's for me.
Then I will tell you mine.
Finally, some good fucking food. The creature's tail picks up at the lab explosion, whose very impressive destruction was accomplished with the help of some very impressive miniatures. A 1/6 model of the tower's interior was built and actually set on fire by the production crew. Then they built a 30-foot so-called miniature. They even called it a maxiature, which was blown up and filmed using high-speed photography and forced perspective. It's a great end to a great location for the film. The creature makes like a leap and slides down the water chute, just barely escaping with a cliff dive to freedom. He washes out in a puddle near the shore and begins his new life trying to eat a bird. In the nearby forest, he finds a bunch of bastard skellies, casualties of the Crimean War. He upgrades his undies with a dead soldier's jacket. Damn, that thing's got a bitch and spine improvement. They need to sell that shit at Hot Topic. In fact, all the outfits in this movie are incredible. Costume designer Kate Hawley previously worked with Del Toro on the similarly gothic Crimson Peak. Elordi's costumes, or lack thereof, emphasized his long limbs and elegant design, while Elizabeth's wardrobe was meant to evoke her interest in insects and nature, with custom patterns and fabrics inspired by beetle anatomy and cellular structures. I love seeing the way they do these dyes. And I like her nightgown look when she visits the creature late at night. They used a sheer dress and long straightened hair to evoke a 60s horror femme fatale. Finally, Victor's dressed in outfits ahead of their time, much like his ideas, influenced by rock stars like Mick Jagger. The creature finds some tasty berries and experiences the beauty of Mother Nature.
And the hunters.
Man. They tend to shoot first and philosophize later. His fast action healing powers do away with the gun wound, but he's still getting cold and wet, so he hides in the gear house of a nearby farm, which ends up being the hunter's home. As time passes, the creature observes their family, learning communication skills and the basics of language. Nothing like a degree from Blind Man University. This is the creature's first time seeing the euphoria of a healthy family dynamic, and he yearns for the friendly human touch he sees. He comes to care for them from afar and starts pulling his weight around the farm. The rest of the superstitious family credits their fortune to a helpful forest spirit, while Gramps begins to suspect there may be someone more flesh and bone to thank. Farm living ain't all Stardew and Nook Miles though, since the family's livestock is occasionally knocked down by wolves. Aw, those poor CG sheep. The hunters fight back, teaching the creature some hard truths about the natural world.
It would hunt you and kill you just for being who you are.
I don't love how CG these wolves look, but Del Toro at least made the effort of providing a practical basis for the VFX. The hunters send the women and children away while they track the rest of the pack into the mountains. The blind grandpa refuses to leave, opting to spend the winter at home, and maybe meeting that forest spirit once and for all. The creature is fond of the old man, probably because he knows he won't shoot him on sight, so he decides to introduce himself. The blind man recognizes him as their spirit and welcomes him inside as a friend.
There is something in your voice which persuades me of your goodwill and kindness.
This scene is from the original Frankenstein novel, but didn't make it into the 1931 movie. Of course, it did wind up in The Bride of Frankenstein, which lifted several elements from the creature's half of the story, including the creature's request for a mate to be created. I know in the last kill count I said Del Toro lifted this scene from Bride of Frankenstein, and that was wrong. It comes from the source material. Sorry, it's been a while since I've read the book. For the first...
Yeah, even though that's actually kind of weird, because again, I haven't read the book in a long time, but even I recognize that, yeah, that was actually from the book, you know? If you don't believe me, you can actually look it up, you know? Doesn't take that long. Anyway.
First time ever, the creature has a friend, and he shows him a kinder side of the world. I can't even handle when he gets Gramps to pat the top of his head like he saw him do with his granddaughter. It's just the sweetest thing ever. He's so cute. It's also the nicest I've ever seen David Bradley, who was 82 at the time of filming. I'm used to him yelling at wizard kids and planning killer weddings. This whole beautiful sequence is buoyed further by the music. Composer Alexander Desplat puts in great work on this film. He's a 2-time Oscar winner, with one of those wins for Del Toro's The Shape of Water. The creature gets to experience walks in the woods, his first ever snowfall, and growing out his monster mane so he can model for romance paperback covers. Del Toro wanted the creature's look to be more book accurate, which included having long hair. He worked with another huge Franken fan, creature designer Mike Hill, who also did the main creature design in The Shape of Water, as well as the prosthetic Frankensteins in Del Toro's home, the famous Bleak House, which has an extensive curated collection of Frankenabilia. For skin tone, they combined the book's yellow hue with some bluish green flesh, inspired by the makeup Jack Pierce used on Boris Karloff. They ditched the more haphazard stitching of previous creature designs, reasoning that someone as vain as Victor would be careful making his monster.
Victor Frankenstein is not a butcher. He's trying to make the perfect man.
Hill emulated period-accurate surgical procedures to make the creature look like he stepped out of an old medical anatomy textbook. Other inspirations included David Bowie's alien character in The Man Who Fell to Earth, and Bernie Wrightson's illustrated version of Shelley's Frankenstein in 1983. The look was made up of 42 separate prosthetic pieces that fit together like a jigsaw puzzle, with 12 to 14 pieces just for the head and shoulders. No count on the knees and toes. Elordi had to endure a 10-hour makeup process for each of his 50-plus days of filming. Following Del Toro's advice, he used his time in the makeup chair as a ritual to prepare for his role.
He told me on the phone the first time we met that there would be the sacrament and that I'd be going to church every morning. And I took that seriously every morning when I'd sit in the makeup chair.
The blind man's collection of books allows the creature to expand his vocabulary and his horizons. He wants to discover who he is, since he's got the memories of about 12 different dudes. Only one word unites them all.
Victor.
At the blind man's encouragement, the creature retraces his steps to his childhood home. There, he pieces together the story of his pieces and the name of the man who brought them all together.
Victor Frankenstein.
The creature returns to the cottage, only to find some big bad wolves that let themselves in. He joins in on the violence of nature when he lets loose and tears through the pack of wolves. He gets a bunch of canine kills we won't count that include premature peltings and spinal readjustments. The remaining wolves run with their tails tucked between their legs, but it's too late. The blind man is able to call the creature his friend, but it's the last thing he does before dying from his injuries. It's a tragic scene, made even more tragic when the hunters show up and shoot at the creature, blaming him for the old man's death. Their inability to read the room costs bites one guy his jaw and earns him a free ticket onto the kill count. The monster's still wolf-bit woozy and tries to run away, but the hunters don't let him crawl to a res van. Instead, they push and shoot him until he falls to the ground dead. Little do they know, he's got a self-res, because a few hours later, he's back up and running. Turns out his Deadpool healing factors will keep him kicking till the end of time.
Death, a gift you too had denied me.
While the creature's dealing with unwanted immortality, Victor returns to his childhood estate for William's wedding to Elizabeth, and he's super psyched about that. He tries to give the bride-to-be well wishes, but she ain't having none of that shit. He blew up her baby Leaf Boy. Except not really, because the creature's back in Victor's bedroom and looking for love. He asks his creator to create another creature whom he can share his eternal life with.
Another monster? Yes. We can be monsters together.
Victor's all like, what's next? You gonna monster fuck and make monster babies? And the creature's all like,
oh, bye.
The commotion attracts Elizabeth, who's overjoyed to reunite with Tall, Dark, and Sutured. I mean, her dress is reminiscent of the Bride of Frankenstein's. Victor tries to kill his creation, but instead shoots Elizabeth. A decision that just, oh man, I hate this moment. It's a huge change from the book, where the angry and bitter creature strangles Elizabeth as a way to get back at Victor. They even teased us with it earlier.
My throat makes sound.
Like I said in the intro, my biggest problem here is that the creature is completely defanged. He only kills out of self-defense, as opposed to in the book, where he murders several characters in cold blood. Hell, he was doing that shit in the 30s movies too. Remember how he killed the grieving parents of that little girl he also killed? I much prefer the nuance and complexity of the book's characters, but Del Toro is going for more of a fairy tale tone here, and that's fine. It clearly works for a lot of you. The other wedding guests...
I mean, honestly, I could see him do that. I don't know, but then again, Guillermo del Toro, like he said, sees himself in the monsters, so if you do it like that, I could definitely see why he, writ the monster like that, but to each their own. What do you guys think? Too much? Let me know. Anyway.
Arrive and several men throw fisticuffs, but the creature throws the men who throw fisticuffs. William takes a particularly nasty hit before the creature bundles up his bride and carries her away. Victor tends to his brother, who dies from his injuries, but not before taking a pneumatic hammer to the story's theme.
You are the monster.
I mean, come on. In Del Toro's defense, Victor's over-the-top villainy was intentional, not an oversight.
I am more attracted to making movies about people that are full of villainy, because ultimately it's a more real way of seeing the world.
The monster takes Elizabeth to a Fortress of Solitude-looking cave where she delivers her final vows.
I sought and longed for something I could not quite name, but I knew I found it.
Then she dies, thanks to the gunshot delivered by evil monster man Victor Frankenstein.
You are the monster.
Victor's super pissed and goes undead headhunting, but is quickly overpowered by the creature, who vows to ruin his life.
You gave me life unwanted. I give that back to you.
His first act is the most violent got your nose I've ever seen. Then he runs away, and Victor chases after him? Hey Victor, monster just said he's gonna torture you forever. Maybe let him fuck off and call it a loss. Instead, he hobbles after the creature until it cuts to him on a sled with dogs, and now we're in the Arctic? What was the actual timeline of this chase? How did we end up here, man? This very rushed ending sees Victor chase the creature all around the Arctic before taking a little tent nap. That's when the creature pulls a Jason Goes to Hell and sets the tent on fire in the process. After a hearty stab, he uncovers dynamite amongst his arsenal. Hoping for death, the creature lights up the TNT, which causes the explosion the sailor saw in the beginning. The blast knocks Victor back, but doesn't kill the creature, only blowing away parts and pieces of him. Wait, are his clothes super healing too? Just saying, dude should probably be naked, right? That brings us to the present on Captain Anderson's boat, fully caught up with both sides of the story. After hearing his creature's tale, Victor feels bad.
I'm sorry.
He begs his creation/son/romantic rival for forgiveness, and the monster gives it to him, maybe a little too easily.
I forgive you.
I do like those monkey noises, though. They're a nice tribute to Karloff's verbal style as the monster. Victor asks the monster to say his name, the one word he used to take for granted.
Victor.
And with that, he dies and is sent off with a Franken forehead kiss. The captain tells his crew to allow the creature to leave, and in return, the monster frees their ship from the ice. Anderson breaks the cycle and shows he's learned from Victor's mistake, telling his crew they don't need to die for scientific pursuits. The creature walks out onto the ice, where he enjoys the snow and the sunlight. And the movie ends with a Lord Byron quote because, I don't really know. Fuck it, I guess. Did this big budget redux of a classic also shock some life into its body count? Let's find out. Into the numbers.
What did I say about that hole?
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I was supposed to put these down.
I'm bad.
Sorry.
Need a ladder?
We counted 81 kills in Frankenstein, with the victims consisting of 79 men or male cadavers, and both women characters in the movie, both played by Mia Goth. That gives us this mostly blue Frankenberry pie chart. With a runtime of 152 minutes, we had a kill on average every 1.88 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Harlander. Something about that hole really freaks me out, and the gory reveal afterward is one of the movie's most shocking moments. The machete for lamest kill will go to the 39 frozen bodies we had to count in that battlefield. You can't be a long, research-heavy movie and be hard to count. That's double the difficulty. And that's it. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein came out on Netflix in 2025 and was nominated for 9 Oscars. Oh, wait, I'm filming this before the Oscars, but it's coming out afterward. Did it win anything? I'm guessing, what, production design, costume design, makeup and hairstyling?
Look that up
which is
later.
fine, it's great in all those. Although my vote for makeup and hair would be the ugly stepsister. Anyway, until next time, I'm James A. Janice.
This is the Kill Count.
On the next Kill Count. Looking for a getaway? Need a place to rest?
I'm very tired.
Then why not try the best motel off the main highway?
Oh, that must be the Bates Motel.
It sure is. This fine family establishment has just what you need, whether it be a hearty meal,
sandwiches and milk,
a lovely view, or a good old-fashioned hospitality.
If you want anything, just tap on the wall.
Just ring the bell. And ask for Bates.
Norman Bates.
But make sure to respect the lady of the house.
That must be my mother.
Or you might find your stay cut short. This week, make sure to book your reservation with Psycho.
12 cabins, 12 vacancies.
Then on Friday, go a little mad for the kill count, only on Dead Meat.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Psycho can currently be...
Yep, we'll see you on Psycho. It's gonna be interesting to see that one. Well, let me know your favorite part. Till next time, and adios.